delivering an Aquarium Glossy, one of my favourite tanks.
No, just wipes off. It's on this side too.
Oh,
Wipes off.
really?
I just use my shirt.
Show us. Oh, magical.
Magic.
It was way too exciting.
Super.
Just levelled the bottom because it was really quite out. Now it's very close. Now whenever you're setting up an aquarium, make sure you wash your gravel, because there's nothing worse than starting with dirty gravel. Now this is one of my favourite gravels. I really like the grain size and I really like the colour. It's a pretty common story. Some goldfish arrived in this house in this bowl, and then they've got upgraded to this aquarium, and now sure enough they're on their way to this aquarium. It's a very common story. Now these are beautiful, very large goldfish. Now the thing to be aware of with goldfish is, though their requirements are quite low, they're actually fairly messy fish, because they don't really have a stomach. They've got more of a digestive system, and they can literally eat and eat and eat. So the condition of these fish is really quite good. So I wouldn't want to see them get any fatter or any thinner than they are. They're really looking quite good. And as far as fish quality is concerned, the quality of your fish is basically exactly equal to your water quality and your food quality. Now food quality, you can't get too much better than this. This is New Life Spectrum's goldfish food. It is a very, very good food. But I would suggest with the goldfish, consider getting the probiotic version. So once this gets used up, or you could intermittent it with that one. The probiotic version has got a probiotic bacteria in the food, which means when the fish poo, the bacteria in the poo eat the poo. So I spend a lot of my time servicing and looking after aquariums, and when I get people onto the probiotic food basically almost exclusively, then I'll notice after a month, I'll notice the filters are cleaner, the gravel stays cleaner. After a couple of months, I'll really notice a difference. But I also like to mix this food up with a little bit of Denichi colour. If it was up to me, I'd probably have some larger pellet Denichi colour, and then I'd also have some Spectrum probiotics. Now, for goldfish are relatively messy fish, so we want to have very good filtration, which this new tank is certainly going to have. Got a nice big canister ready to go. And then we want to keep the light on for a minimal amount of time, because we don't want any extra algae. Can't really have live plants because these things like to decimate live plants. But this new aquarium is going to have heaters in it, and I'm highly going to encourage adding some bristlenose and plecostomus catfish, because these are absolutely beautiful fish and they will do a wonderful job in helping to keep the tank nice and clean. At the moment, these goldfish are getting upgraded into this lovely big new Aquarium Glossy aquarium, and this tank has got heaters in it, which means from now on we are not restricted to goldfish. Now, adding new fish with these goldfish, I would hesitate to recommend more goldfish, because if you put the goldfish in the heated aquarium, the goldfish will love you because they will think it's summer all year. Goldfish basically thrive in summer and they'll survive in winter. So the fact that you're going to run these with a heater and run them at probably like 24, 25 degrees means that they're going to love it. And it also means you're no longer restricted to cold water fish. You could look at putting all sorts of fish with these goldfish. You just got to make sure you don't put anything really aggressive or nippy, anything that's going to attack them, anything that's going to nip on their fins. And then you don't want anything really small that's going to fit in their mouth. So most of your larger live bearers like mollies and things are a nice addition. The mollies will sort of sit more on the top. Adding any of your catfish for the bottom, even like your larger Corydoras, Pictus cats, plecos, bristlenose. There's really a lot of options that you can have. And then for the main feature of the aquarium, you're really no longer limited to goldfish. You could look at silver sharks, you could look at silver dollars, you could look at tinfoil barbs. There's really quite an extensive range of fish that you can put with the goldfish. You just want to stay away from things like barbs, any of your more aggressive cichlids, and just be conscious of what you're going to put with them. And the other advantage of these other fish is that a lot of these fish are going to have much better developed digestive systems. So in general, they will be a lot cleaner. Fairly spectacular rocks here, ready to go into the aquarium. But one thing I will say about any aquarium is every 3 to 6 months, giving it a rearrange is really great. That allows you to get all the crap out from underneath the rocks. But it also helps to redefine the fish's world. So if you had some fake plants and whatever you're going to put in there and leave it there for 3 to 6 months, then that is the fish's world. If you go and swap out and swap something and change it all around, and the other thing that's really good too is that over time the rocks and the plants all look a bit how's your uncle, and then you put them out in the sun for a day, let the sun dry up the algae, flip it over, leave it on the sun for another day, and then you get a bit more life out of the most of your fake plants, and that will last for a couple of years and then they sort of look like rubbish. So put them out in the sun every now and then. That gives them a bit of life back. And then if you rotate various ornaments and various fake plants within the aquarium, not only is it good for your interest, it's very good for the fish because it redefines their world, gives them a whole new thing to explore. So I'm a big fan of every now and then, out go the ornaments, in go new ones, and that's for your benefit and the fish. It's an absolutely wonderful filter, but what you need to know is every time you're setting this filter up, you need to make sure that this O-ring is in place. So see there's an O-ring here, and this O-ring basically just allows you to clean the pre-filter without taking the filter apart. So this is actually a really, really handy feature, but this O-ring here, I find that it can fall out. So make sure it's in place. Otherwise, that's the main reason why it leaks, because if the O-ring is not in place and then you go and turn it on, it's going to leak where the O-ring comes out. So this is a wonderful feature, but you also want to remember when you're cleaning the filter, you want to remember to clean this, because this is a very unique filter. This is a very unique feature, which most filters do not have. So it's very easy to forget to clean that. And then inside here, every single unit is going to have an impeller. So we just want to pull that out and give that a clean each time we clean the filter as well, or at least once or twice a year. Inside this filter, what you're going to get is some noodles. I tend to put the noodles on the bottom because they've got the smallest surface area, so they clog up the least. Then we've got some sponge. Now, when you're cleaning all these medias, you're really better off cleaning them in water from the fish tank, not water from the tap, once it's well established. And then it comes with some filter floss. Now, if you wanted to put a turbo into this filter, I would consider replacing this filter floss in the future for some marine pure balls. And then I would consider replacing this one for some polyfilter. So polyfilter and marine pure are obviously not Aquael products. They do not come with these filters, but as a bit of a turbo upgrade in the future, adding some marine pure and some polyfilter would significantly increase the capacity of your aquarium. Canisters, it's important you put down, they'll always have like a little grid, and that'll help stop anything getting stuck into the impeller. Make sure that's in place. And I like these Aquael ones because you can't put it in the wrong way. Every way is the right way. Now it's really important that all canisters are full of water before you turn them on. So make sure they're primed. And then these heaters, these Aquael heaters, they're very fancy. You can see the light at the top is what the heater is set for. And then the fact that it's coming up like that, the extra one means that the heater is currently heating. Once it is heated, it will just go to the one dot. And then if the temperature is too high, then it will start flashing, just a single flash. And just be aware that the heater can only heat the water. It cannot reduce the temperature. And I never ever just trust the heater. I will always have a second thermometer. In this case, you can clearly see two heaters, so that's sort of pretty safe. But at the same time, I always have a thermometer. Don't just trust my thermostats on my heaters to give me an accurate temperature.